What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's reaction video is 16 Oddities of U.S. Geography. Now, have you checked out Geoking before? I think you have.
I feel like I have, maybe once.
Yeah, we definitely, I can't remember which video it was, but we've definitely done a video, haven't we?
Rings a bell.
No, because I remember Howdy, because he says Howdy at the start on most of his videos.
Okay.
And I think you did it once.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure you did do it once. Let us know in the comments, but I am 99% sure. So no introduction needed. But you haven't done this Oddities of U.S. Geography.
No.
So let's get straight into this one. Smash that like button if you enjoy the content. Smash the subscribe button as well. We've done a few of these kind of geography oddities or unique things recently, like the town which is in Canada but actually US, and like they had to cross it to go to school, the border to go to school and stuff. I don't know if they're on this one. I checked it out a very long time ago, so I'm not sure which ones are on there. It's going to be refreshing for me to go back through them. And yeah, let's get straight into it. What's the like goal for today?
3,000.
3,000. You guys have been doing pretty well. We've been averaging around the 2,000 to 3,000 likes on most videos, haven't we? So smash that like button. Let's try and get 3,000 likes, and let's check out the 16 Oddities of U.S. Geography. What we got?
Hey there, it's Kyle discussing 16 geographic
He didn't say howdy.
No, but it's Kyle.
It is Kyle, as always.
oddities and quirks in the U.S. This is a huge country, but a lot of it follows kind of a uniform or predictable geography, but there are several places in this country that really don't follow the rules. Some of these are pretty odd, some are kind of quirky, and some are just kind of like, really kind of stuff. And you may have heard of some of these, you might be familiar with some of this stuff, and others you might not have heard of. And this isn't a countdown. I'm not going to be like, oh, this one's crazier than the next one kind of thing. It's just kind of going over some unique aspects of American geography. I live in Tennessee, so I'm going to start off with one about Tennessee. It's one of the strangest shaped states in the country. And one of the quirks about the state is that if there were two people in Bristol at the eastern end of the state, one started driving north toward Detroit, one started driving west towards Memphis, the one driving north would be in Canada before the one driving west would be in Memphis. So just with how wide the state is, it's not a huge thing in terms of total area, but because of the strange shape, it really does go really far east to west.
I'd never guess that.
No.
Again, I guess because it's collapsed, isn't it, along with, but I'd never guess that.
And that's a good segue to the second one, and that's if you are in Detroit and you want to go to Canada, you'll have to drive south. The southwestern corner of Ontario extends to kind of just southeast of Michigan, so if you want to head to the Great White North from Detroit, you got to head south. Something else that's quirky is that the highest point in the contiguous U.S. is Mount Whitney at over 14,400 feet. And the lowest point in the U.S. is Badwater Basin and Death Valley National Park, which is almost 300 feet below sea level. And why this is so quirky is that they are 85 miles apart from each other. So in a country that's 3,000 miles wide, the highest and lowest points are 85 miles apart.
Yeah, that's pretty strange, isn't it?
The next few are based upon the shape of the country. So the coastlines aren't directly north-south, and the peninsulas don't extend the exact same distance. So there are some kind of, kind of things about the latitude and longitude that you might not be aware of. One is if you're going to start in San Diego, California, right on the Mexican border, and then drive east on a line of latitude, you'll end up on the East Coast in Charleston, South Carolina. I think a lot of folks think that San Diego, being on the border is going to be much further south, maybe as far as Jacksonville, Florida.
I'd assumed it is as well.
Latitude per latitude is right even with Charleston, South Carolina. Similarly, deep South Texas extends almost as far south as South Florida. So most people know Florida being, subtropical. Miami's way down there, but a lot of folks don't know that deep South Texas extends just about as far. The Mexican border right around Brownsville, you follow a line of latitude east, you're going to end up in Miami. So Florida does extend a little bit further south than that, but South Texas is every bit as subtropical as South Florida is. And the third kind of quirk based on the shape of the country is that Reno, Nevada is further west than Los Angeles. So you think of Reno, it's up in the mountains, it's near Lake Tahoe, it's pretty far inland, and Los Angeles is sitting right there on the coast, but longitude-wise, Reno is further west in LA. My favorite
I suppose you look at a map quite quickly, don't you? So you kind of just... Because I didn't really know much about Reno, so I would have never been able to make that assumption. But I guess with a California and South Carolina, you just think California, bottom left, but then because you've got the southern states like Tennessee, Georgia, all them places, you think South Carolina, probably about middle, but on the east, you know what I mean? But then actually, the level.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
It's only when you actually look at it, it's like, that's
crazy.
Strange. And again, with Florida as well.
Yeah.
You'd always assume that is miles away.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have said that, like looking at it, that Texas was the same. As low as
Definitely.
Florida.
A little bit, well, I suppose it's not cheating, but it's a bit of a technicality because it is only a tiny part of Texas, isn't it? Because it kind of just craters off. But it is what it is, I guess. It still is.
Still Texas.
Naming oddity in American geography is West St. Paul, Minnesota. And why this is so funny is that it's southeast of St. Paul. And it's not like it's a case where it was originally founded, the historic part of St. Paul was east there and it just developed west. No, the West St. Paul, when it was founded, it was already south of the historic district of St. Paul, and now it's southeast of the city. So from a naming perspective, I think it's pretty hilarious. A couple of placements.
That's like calling Jersey North England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just completely south.
Yeah.
Oddities in the U.S. are that there are two places that are part of U.S. states, but you have to drive through Canada to get to them. One of them is called the Northwest Angle in Minnesota, and this is, an area is part of Minnesota, but in order to get there by road, you have to drive through Manitoba to get to it. And the other is Point Roberts, Washington, and in order to get to it by road, you have to drive through British Columbia. It's a lot closer to, Vancouver, much more, culturally tied to British Columbia than it is to Washington. So those are two pretty unique places in the U.S. that are really kind of more Canadian, but they are, under U.S. jurisdiction. And because I like the word discontiguous, I'm going to use that as a segue into this next quirk, and that is that there are two discontiguous counties in the U.S. Well, one of them is technically a parish in Louisiana, but that's the same as a county. So St. Martin Parish in Louisiana is discontiguous. There are two different parts of it. So in order to stay in that same parish, you have to drive through another one to get to it. And the other one is Norfolk County in Massachusetts, which is suburbs of Boston. So again, to say in Norfolk County, you have to drive through a different county to get to it. So those are the two discontiguous county parishes in the U.S. The next has to do with city and county nomenclature and how that affects jurisdiction. And there are some pretty unique ones in the U.S. Virginia is the only state in the country that has cities and counties that are completely separate jurisdictions. The vast majority of Americans live in a city that is also a part of a county. So, for example, I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is part of Hamilton County. And before that, I lived in Monterey, California, which is part of Monterey County. But in Virginia, things are a lot different. So they'll have a city that is not within a county. So, for example, you have Roanoke. So you can live in a city of Roanoke, but you don't live in a county at all. You don't live in Roanoke County. The two are completely separate jurisdictions, and there's no other state that does that. But the only other places in the U.S. that do that.
I don't know the difference too much about your counties and cities. Like, I don't know, do you?
I don't understand our own.
I mean, I kind of understand our own. The other day we had a laugh. For some reason, I thought Liverpool was in Midlands when it's clearly Merseyside. You laughed at me quite a bit there, didn't you? But like, you don't really hear much about the counties in the US, or at least I don't.
No, it's like mainly the big cities, isn't it?
You hear the state and then the city, but then the only time,
capital city, or like a few of the main cities.
And the only time counties come up for me is for like the jails when we watched Locked Up for Life programs. It's like Orange County Jail.
Girls
or
incarcerated.
Like that. Yeah, something like that. So let us know that whole system. Is it similar to ours and the counties and stuff like that, or is it not? Let us know in the comments.
That are St. Louis and Baltimore. So these are two places. They're cities, the city of St. Louis and the city of Baltimore, but they're not part of St. Louis County or Baltimore County. But this is not something that is statewide with Missouri and Maryland. So again, Virginia is the only one that does that kind of weird thing with cities and counties being separate. And there are 4 cities in the U.S. that are both cities and counties at the same time. So the jurisdiction is the exact same thing. Those are San Francisco, Philadelphia, Denver, and Broomfield, Colorado. So these 4 are the city and counties, the exact same jurisdiction. So the city boundaries are the same as the county boundaries. And these are the only 4 like this in the U.S. The next has to...
That's pointless. Why not just have one?
Yeah.
That's just confusing.
To do with metropolitan areas and how they're defined. And most folks know how the metro area populations are calculated, because you can't just say the central city of an area is the entire population, because say you live in Atlanta, it's not just Fulton County, it's also Gwinnett and DeKalb and Cobb and Clayton and Forsyth and all the other suburban counties. Or if you live in Houston, it's it's not just Harris County, it's also Brazoria and Fort Bend and Galveston County. So that's how every metropolitan area in the country is calculated. San Diego, California is unique in that it's the only metropolitan area with a population greater than 1 million, in which the metropolitan area is defined as a singular county. So San Diego County is the San Diego metropolitan area with about 3.1 million people. There are no suburban counties that add on to the metropolitan area in San Diego. The other really unique one is Providence, Rhode Island. It's the only metropolitan area with a population greater than 1 million in which the metropolitan...
What are the chances we have that magnet? Because it looks very familiar.
We do have that magnet.
I think we might do.
We do have that magnet.
We may have that on our fridge.
We do have that.
It looks very similar, doesn't it?
But isn't it funny how it's got Bradford, Wakefield, Portsmouth, Bristol,
which I think's for cities, isn't it? Kingston.
Yeah, but I'm saying we have them in England.
Yeah, Kingston we have in England as well.
Do we?
Yeah, I'm 99% sure we've got a Kingston. I may be wrong with that. Cause Warwick, yep. But again, best cities, crazy. I think,
Newport,
not
Wales.
counties.
Yeah, I just...
Yeah, no, definitely. And like Bristol, I can see Bristol on there as well.
Wow.
Newport.
I've just said these.
Did you say there is Jamestown in there as well?
We have got this.
I said Jamestown.
I said there's a Jamestown one. We have got this magnet, this exact magnet.
And we may have done the whole conversation about Bradford,
yeah,
Portsmouth.
we didn't. You'll see it when we do see the Mailbox Monday. You'll see this.
Yeah, you'll see, because I think we had this exact conversation. So shout out to that, because we do have that magnet. What a coincidence.
Metropolitan area is a state. So the state of Rhode Island is the Providence metropolitan area, and that's the only one in the country that's like that. And because I love me some segues, I'm going to use a discussion about metropolitan areas to go into my next quirk about Chicago. Think about how big Chicago is. It is huge. It's the third biggest city in the country. Think about the metropolitan areas.
I didn't realize it was that big.
You got Cook County and Lake and DuPage and Will and Kendall and McHenry. And you got the northwestern corner of Indiana and Lake and Porter counties. And it's enormous. There are 9 million people that live in the metropolitan Chicago area. And if you live there, you're like, wow, we live in an enormous city. Because you do. But New York and LA are twice as big. So for as big as you think Chicago is, at 9 million people, there are over 18 million in LA and over 20 million in New York. So again, Chicago is huge, but it's way, way, way smaller than New York or LA.
I don't know if you can.
Oh.
I think might hire photographers or something like that. Let us know. You may be able to. This may again be absolute rubbish. There is fencing there, so maybe you can get behind it. But I kind of heard that you used to be able to get there, but you can't anymore.
Oh, okay.
But that might be absolute rubbish. You might have never been able to, or you might still be able to get there.
I want to go there and see the sign in the distance.
Yeah, there is one street, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called, but there's one street everyone bangs on about.
And
with
people
the palm
take photos
trees,
on, don't they? And it's right behind it.
Right behind them, and you can do the whole, oh, look, I've got Hollywood in my hand. I'm holding Hollywood up.
I would never do that, but I would take a photo in front of it.
Oh, I'm definitely doing that. You got to have a bit of fun, don't you? But let us know if you can actually go close up to the signs. I don't think you can.
And I'm going to keep the segue train rolling as I go on comparing metropolitan areas. I'm going to compare Toronto to American cities. This isn't really a quirk or an oddity, it's just more of an interesting fact. And most people know that Toronto is the biggest city in Canada. The metropolitan area for Toronto is about 5.8 million people. And where would that rank in the U.S.? Well, it'd be 9th. So it'd just be smaller than the Houston, Galveston Bay metro area and just bigger than the Miami, Fort Lauderdale metro area. So if you're wondering where the biggest city in Canada would rank in the U.S., it'd be 9th.
There you go.
One of my favorite ones is based upon signage and topography. And if you've driven in the eastern U.S., you might be very familiar with this one. Interstates 81 and 77 are both north-south oriented interstates that come together in southwestern Virginia and are the same highway for a short stretch. And that's pretty common throughout the U.S. There are portions of Indiana and Ohio where interstates 80 and 90 are the same, and there are portions of Pennsylvania where interstates 70 and 76 are the same. But so that's not unique. But what is unique is in southwestern Virginia, if you're going north on 77, when they merge, you'll be also going south on 81 or vice versa. And when you first see the sign, you're like,
that's confusing.
How is this possible?
Which way am I going?
Some vandal just making a joke, but it's actually because at this stretch they're going east-west. So if you're going north on 77, when you hit the interchange, you start going west. If you're going north on I-81, hit the interchange, start going east. So anyway, I think it's kind of a quirky, feature based on topography. But see those signs? I think it is pretty funny. The last two I wanted to mention are based on physical geography, and I've mentioned both of these in other videos. That's why I wanted to save these for last. The first is that the two biggest earthquakes in U.S. recorded history outside of Alaska have been in Missouri and South Carolina. So you think of the biggest earthquakes, you're going to think of the West Coast first for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he's there at the moment, isn't he? He actually went to a baseball game the other day, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Do you know which one it was?
No idea, but it's near Myrtle Beach.
It's near Myrtle Beach, so I quickly get up. Sorry for going on my phone video, but I'll quickly get it up because I can give, because he had a picture of a mascot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it on this one?
Above.
Above there, is it?
Yeah, it's above. There.
We've got it. It looks like the Pelicans.
Yeah, I think it.
Oh, it looks like the Pelicans. There we go. That mascot there. So
that's James's dad, David.
Yeah, that's my dad. If you're at that baseball game, You potentially bumped into him.
But you might not. Yeah, you might have walked past him.
Yeah, or bumped. Yeah, anything.
The two biggest ones have been back east. In the 19th century, there were huge earthquakes in southeastern Missouri and in Charleston, South Carolina, and these places still have a very large earthquake risk, so they have to be careful there. But it's kind of interesting to think that the two biggest earthquakes outside of Alaska have been in Missouri and South Carolina.
It's awful, isn't it?
And the last one that I'm going to mention is just how freaking empty central Nevada is. And, there are so few people that live in just this enormous area. So you can fit the entire state of Maine or South Carolina into this part of central Nevada. And there's a grand total of 100,000 people that live in an entire area. Actually, less than that, really. But you think about how big Maine and South Carolina are. Can you imagine only having 100,000 people in the entire state? So central Nevada is just an enormous area.
100,000 people. That's something you've got in Jersey.
People.
Yeah, that's something we've got in Jersey.
And we're Jersey's tiny.
We're 9 by 12.
So you must not see people.
I imagine we're all bunched up in the main city.
I was going to say, otherwise you would just not see people.
But I'm pretty sure there's a lot. If you actually go on the car journeys, you have to fill up before you get on this road because
there's nothing.
There's just nothing, and hopefully you got a big enough tank to get to the other side.
Take some petrol in jerry cans. In the boot.
Literally, I think a few roads are like that. It's just that big and empty.
That's my list of geographic oddities.
Oh, that is the end of it. Do you enjoy that?
That was good, yeah.
Go and check Kyle out. His link will be in the description as always. There's another one of these. Do you want to check it out? Another point?
Yeah.
If you guys hear...
It's interesting.
We said 3,000, didn't we?
Yeah.
Should we say 5,000?
No.
Okay, we'll stay with 3,000.
I don't think we're going to do 5,000.
But prove Millie wrong and get us 5,000 likes. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because we'd heard a few of them before already.
Yeah.
But it's nice to refresh the mind,
definitely.
I think.
Definitely.
And we'll check everyone out, won't we?
Decent video.
Smash that like button, guys. Smash that subscribe button. And what should they do?
They should, before you have a great day, please head over to our Instagram page.
Check out Instagram out. Why not?
Then have a great day.
And have a fantastic day. Peace.